Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I'm Kirti Sophia Panachan, and in today's session we'll be continuing The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank, and this is part 2. The plight of Jews in Nazi Germany was miserable. They were denied citizenship, they were subjected to organized ostracism and seclusion. Ostracism means exclusion from a society, and seclusion means a particular group of people are not considered as a part of a society and they are kept away or they are all by themselves. So in Nazi Germany, Jews had a very hard time. They had to suffer a lot. They were not considered or given citizenship, and they were not considered as a part of Germany. And hence, they had to suffer a lot of exclusion and seclusion. The Franks represent the millions of Jewish victims of the Holocaust who were persecuted and hounded out during the Second World War. Anne Frank and her family represented the millions of Jews who were victims in the Holocaust. Holocaust was also known as Shoah, and it was the genocide of European Jews during World War II. And the major contribution or the man behind such a genocide was none other than Hitler. The Frank family were a fortunate lot in that they were spared death and could go in ambush. When they realized that their lives were in danger, they fled into a hideout, which was the door hidden by a bookshelf, which Anne calls Secret Annex or Ashterhouse in her diary. Initially, Anne Frank and her family were very lucky to get saved from death. They were able to go in a hideout and they were not found out by the Nazi people. So what they did is that when they understood that it's danger all around them, they decided to go in hiding. And what they did is that they hid behind the doors, which were made of a bookshelf. And we could see that Anne, in her diary, has described this secret place as Secret Annex or Ashterhouse. Okay, she has given a particular name like this to the place in which they were hiding in her diary. During the German invasion of Netherlands in May 1940, the family was held up in Amsterdam, where they had moved to in 1933. Anne's diary begins on 14th June 1942 and charts the life of the family after moving into the secret hiding place and thereafter. So, Germany invaded Netherlands in May 1940, and during that time, Anne Frank's family had to live in Amsterdam because they were over there and they were held up over there, and they moved there to in 1933. They had moved to Amsterdam in 1933, and they had to settle there because after that, Germany invades Netherlands. And we could see that in Anne's diary, the diary entry begins from 14th June 1942, and in her diary, she has openly revealed about her life, her family, how they went into secret hiding place, and what all things happened during her stay in the secret hiding place. All these things are explained in depth in her diary. The family was finally caught on the tip of an informer of whom history is still in the dark. So, towards the end, after 2 years hiding in a secret place, finally the Nazi people were able to find out Anne Frank's family and they were sent into Auschwitz, which is a concentration camp. And still, in history, we are unable to identify who was the person who revealed the secret hiding place of Anne Frank's family. The history is still in the dark. They were arrested by the Gestapo on 4th August 1944 and transferred to Auschwitz. There Anne witnessed the gruesome sight of her own kin sent to gas chambers. Anne was spared and sent to the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp where she died. There are unconfirmed reports that she died probably of typhus at the age of 15. So the Gestapo is considered as the secret police officers of Hitler, and they found out Anne Frank's family in the secret hiding place on 4th August 1944. When they were found out, they were transferred to Auschwitz, which is considered as a concentration camp which had a complex of over 40 concentration and extermination camps operated by Nazi Germany in occupied Poland during World War II and the Holocaust. So Anne Frank's family was transferred to there, and over there, Anne witnessed some of the most horrible and horrifying sights. And there she witnessed her own kin, that is, her uh, uh, own kind of people being sent into gas chambers to be killed. And Anne was spared, and she was not sent to the gas chamber at Auschwitz. Instead, she was sent to another concentration camp known as Bergen-Belsen concentration camp. And over there, Anne Frank dies. There are certain unconfirmed reports about her death, and she died at the age of 15. And it's being said that she might have died due to typhus. Typhus is a disease caused by a bacteria, and that might be the reason of her death. Her father was the only survivor. He was not aware of such a diary written by his daughter. Finally, he had to fight many legal battles to restore authenticity to the diary, which was accused of being counterfeit or forged. So, after the Holocaust, after Hitler's death, when the Jews were free, the only survivor of her family was her father, Otto Frank, and he was not aware of such a diary written by his daughter. Once Otto Frank came to know that when he went to visit the secret hiding place after his release, he was given the diary, or somebody found out the diary of Anne Frank, and it was handed over to Otto Frank. And that's when Otto Frank read the diary written by his daughter. And he had to fight a lot of legal battles to restore the authenticity of Anne Frank's diary. And it was accused of being forged and copied and all, but after a lot of battles, he restored the authenticity of it. Her diary was a red and white checkered book that she received as a gift on her 13th birthday. The diary, addressed to Kitty, a fictional character in Sissy Van Maxwell's Uber Hall, is a telling narrative on war, humanity, and identity. The diary in which Anne Frank wrote was a gift that she received on her 13th birthday, and it was a red and white checkered book. And in the diary, we could see that the diary was addressed to Kitty. Kitty was actually a fictional character in Sissy Van Maxwell, Uber Hall. And Sissy Van Maxwell is a Dutch writer of children's book, and her original name was Sitske Dehan, and she is best known for her series of Jude Hall's novels. And that's a writer and a book that was very dear to Anne Frank. She loved reading Cissy Van Maxwell's books, and that is why she gave the diary a name that is Kitty. So, in Cissy Van Maxwell's Jupiter Hall, it tells or it narrates about war, humanity, and identity, and all those writings influenced Anne Frank a lot. It has influenced great personages like John F. Kennedy, Nelson Mandela, Hillary Clinton, and John Berryman. Nelson Mandela compared his own struggle against apartheid to Anne's struggle against Nazism. There are many adaptations of the diary. It was adapted into a play that won Pulitzer Prize for Drama. There is also a 1959 movie titled The Diary of Anne Frank. Secret Annex, the place of her hiding, is now a museum. So, Anne Frank was a very young girl who influenced many major leaders of the world, such as John F. Kennedy, Nelson Mandela, Hillary Clinton, John Berryman. All these persons had a huge role in building the world, and they are considered as leaders of the world, and these leaders were influenced by such a small, young, charming girl, Anne Frank. So, Nelson Mandela himself has once told that the struggle that he had to do against the apartheid is as similar as the struggle Anne Frank had to do against Nazism. As we all know, Nelson Mandela was a South African anti-apartheid revolutionary statesman and philanthropist who served as President of South Africa from 1994 to 1999. He was the country's first black head of state and the first elected in a fully representative democratic election. And what is known as apartheid, that you may be wondering. Apartheid is the name of the policy that governed relations between the white minority and the non-white majority of South Africa during the 20th century. Anne Frank's diary was adapted into many forms like plays and drama, and a play that was based on Anne Frank's diary won the Pulitzer Prize for Drama, and a movie titled The Diary of Anne Frank was released in 1959. The Secret Annex, the place in which Anne Frank and her family hid, is now a museum. In Nazi Germany, anti-Jewish decrees ruled the day. Jews were supposed to wear a yellow star, and they were banned from trams and forbidden to drive. They had to be indoors by 8 o'clock and were barred from theaters, cinemas, and other places of entertainment. They could shop only in Jewish shops and could study only in Jewish schools. This passage shows the perils of being a Jew in Nazi Germany. So the Nazi rule had actually given a very hard time Jewish people, and Jews were supposed to wear a yellow star which showed the world that they were Jews, and they were banned from trams and forbidden to drive and had to be indoors by 8 o'clock, and they were barred from theaters, cinemas, and any place of entertainment, and they were allowed only to shop in Jewish shops and go to Jewish schools for study. So that's all for today. I hope today's session was fruitful for you all. If you like this video, do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and share it with students who love to learn. Once again, thank you so much. See you again in the next session. Bye-bye.